Is up, everyone? It's us again. Three old men yelling at cloud. Um, we might have been a little late, but keep your pants on. That's all I always say. Just keep your pants on. Anyway, I'm Dr. Diz, DM, and to my left here, we've got Double Ot Buck,
Yes, sir.
also Old Man, and further to the left there, we got the lovely Clan Diesel. He's
What?
our he's our Vanna White. All right, so tonight what we're going to be talking about is video game movies. So it goes both ways. Games that were made into movies and movies that were made into games or shows that were made into games. Either way. And so I'll let Clan just jump right in because he's the expert on movies in this crowd, I would say.
I don't know. I got to run for his money on that one.
That's true. Buck does like the movies.
I do own Davenport Video, which took Blockbuster out of service.
There you go. Well, let's see. Well, I'll tell you what, Buck. Since you're snapping at the bit here, and you have your own video store, go for. Why don't you start us off then?
Well, which topic do we want to cover?
Let's do movies into games.
Yeah, I think that one.
A movie into a game. Well, one of the older movies that they put into a game would probably be Star Wars.
That's true. It's been played into a lot of games.
But that being said, there's a lot of leeway they take in those games that contradict the movie.
my favorite leeway is in Super Star Wars when you go to fight Darth Vader and he turns into a scorpion. That is my favorite. Yes, in the Super Star Wars canon, Darth Vader secretly a scorpion under all that armor. But that's one of my faves. And that is something that you'll notice with like movies and TV shows being made into games. The game doesn't always go the same way as the show or the movie.
Especially a lot of the older ones, like I can think of just The Simpsons, Beavis and Butthead.
That's true. That's true.
Being made into games. And some of those were difficult games too.
Yes.
I don't know what they were going for there.
Okay, listen, the problem with Back to the Future is that it was made by LJN. And the thing that you didn't know, like when you were younger, you were like, oh my God, it's a Back to the Future game. I've got to have it. You didn't know. You were young and stupid, and your brain didn't connect that little rainbow logo with suck. But if you go back in time and think about it, whenever you saw that rainbow LJN logo, that game was horrible.
Yeah.
Not good at all. I mean, think about, okay, like the Back to the Future game, all right? Think about it. Has anybody completed that game?
I have not.
I know there's got to be at least, a handful of people out there that have.
There's probably 4 people that have completed that game all the way through. And I don't know. And they had to be Game Genie in it or something. Because literally the game is walk down the street where you're attacked by girls on hula hoops, birds, guys carrying glass, and bullies, and oil slicks. The only weapon you can get is a bowling ball.
Yeah.
And if you get within 30 feet of something, you lose the bowling ball. Then you move to the diner scene where you got to defeat bullies that are coming at you with milkshakes. You got to throw milkshakes at them because that's a famous scene in Back to the Future.
Yeah.
And if you make it past that, you're back to a street again, and then you're at the dance, and then you're in the DeLorean trying to dodge lightning bolts. And that's Back to the Future. And I don't even want to get into. You think that's bad? The cherry on the suck cake is. I don't even know if you guys play. I own this game. I own both these games. Back to the Future games for the NES. Back to the Future and Back to the Future 2 and 3, which has nothing to do with Back to the Future 2 or 3, and it's horrible and it's god awful. And just what? Look it up on YouTube. You'll be glad that you skipped it.
So chat, what he's really saying is he's a glutton for punishment.
Yeah.
There's the stream glutes.
Yeah. Yep. There it is. There it is. What up, Sly? Thanks for stopping by. We try to be 3 sexy old men.
So
Diz
apparently
and
there
Buck
was
are definitely
another Back to the Future game.
Well, there's
on the
different.
360. Is that what I'm seeing here? I'm just like looking it up here.
There
Or maybe
was
Xbox One.
There was the Telltale game, which was a sequel, and it's canon. It is the 4th movie. It is canon in the Back to the Future mythology. Yeah, there was it came out probably 360 Xbox, 360 PS3, and then it was remastered
It's like
for I think Xbox
maybe?
One and PS4.
30th anniversary edition.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, it was a Telltale game. It released episodically. There was like 4 or 5 episodes to the game. But yeah, all the voice actors came back and are doing the voices.
Dang.
Yep.
I missed out on this. We may have to go check this out on retro. So
I would be up to see it.
all right. What about Pokemon?
Well, I mean,
That was
that's a game to show.
The game
movie.
to show was like
game
card
to show
game?
to movie. I mean,
Was
the
it
card game
to
came
show?
first.
Yeah.
Card game came first, and then the video game, and then I think the anime.
Yeah.
And then definitely then the movie.
Yeah, after the first seasons of Pokemon, they had to make the movie, which was Pokemon 2000, which was where they introduced Mewtwo and Mew.
Yep. That's true.
To show.
That's true. And here they actually released because in Japan there was green and red and blue. Yep. But the first one I think was blue. The very first Pokemon game was blue.
We got red and blue to start.
Yeah. And then in America, they had to make a yellow version because the anime was so popular here in America that people wanted to play Pikachu, and Pikachu wasn't one of the starters.
Right.
So they made yellow so that you could have Pikachu as a starter.
And it took quite some time before they brought green out here.
Yeah.
It's called leaf green now.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm uneducated on the Pokemon.
I actually took my oldest niece and nephew to the movie theater to watch the Pokemon movie. Because my oldest nephew was big into Pokemon. He had like one year for Christmas, his mom and dad got him a Japanese Pikachu card.
Oh, dang.
And it was like in a case and everything. Yeah, it was a big ordeal. He had to have it, but there it was. Couldn't read it. Don't know Japanese, but definitely there's definitely electric rat on that card.
And one thing they added in those movies is at the start of every Pokemon movie, they have a Pikachu short.
Yeah.
So Pikachu gets his 15 minutes of fame, even if he's not in the movie, which let's face it, he's in every movie.
Got that ancient Mew card though. Little Matt says, "I know what Mew is. I don't know what ancient Mew is." Sounds bad, but the bad part is guilty sin here. I actually enjoyed the first Pokemon movie.
I mean, it was a good movie where Mewtwo was cloning all the Pokemon, so that they could fight back against the oppressed Pokemon, even though that's not exactly what was the case.
Also, spoilers. Detective Pikachu, kind of a sequel to the first Pokemon movie.
Yeah, there's just no Mew in Detective Pikachu.
That's true.
Mew must have decided, oh, it's fine. He won't do this again. And went on about his business.
That's true. I got one for you.
Go ahead. Shoot.
Glad you said shoot. Robocop.
I knew that he was going to pull that one out at some point.
I can't remember if I enjoyed the console games, but I definitely enjoyed the arcade game.
Yeah. Robocop by Ocean on the NES. I can
like
hear, I can, yeah, it's something. It's, that game was tough. The best part is you're Robocop, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you're super strong. But in this game, you can get beat up by punks on the street.
Yeah.
Don't make no, and you have to walk like halfway through the stage before you can use your gun. Like you're having to punch everything, and then you get halfway through the stage, and then all of a sudden
draw your gun.
Then he reaches down and pulls the gun out of his leg, and then he's then he does this. This is how you shoot in Robocop the game.
You gotta make it fair. Yeah. Why does he do that?
I don't know. That's how he shoots. This is Robocop shooting animation. So,
hey, he just wants everybody to get their hands up, and when they don't, he shoots.
Maybe
he has to act like he's scared for his life.
I felt threatened. I shot them.
See, I made the hand gesture. It's justified.
That's well, as long as you say justified before it, it's fine. That's the rule. That's the Raylan Gibbons rule of shooting.
We'll come back to that one later. All right, so
how about
you guys got another one?
Follows, almost directly of the movie as far as their graphics into the game was Batman.
I remember Batman being purple.
No. I'm talking about their animation where they animated, Michael Keaton as Batman into the game. They put Jack Nicholson as Joker in the game.
Yeah, when they digitized that, that was pretty good.
They tried to follow the cast, and then you saw Batman and you go, wait a minute, he's supposed to be wearing black. It's like, oh, it's fine. No, it's not.
Sunsoft Batman, purple Batman.
I mean, he's running around like the color of gift a sub in Twitch.
That's true. That is true. Very true. Although, to be fair, building off the purple in Batman, I'm going to raise you one more. See if anybody here has played this or not. I'm got a feeling in my heart that you have.
Mm-hmm.
Building off purple Batman, I give you purple Jason Voorhees from NES Friday the 13th.
Yeah.
No, guess who made that game?
Does it have to do with the rainbow?
It does.
So what we're learning in this episode, chat, is stay away from rainbows. Nothing good comes to them.
The LJN logo you need to stay away from, yes, because it's unless you're like, I'm out tonight to play bad NES games. Because if you do that, then definitely look for it.
Yeah,
I've played, and you guys probably have too, but I remember I didn't have an Atari, but I remember playing what is I think known as the worst game ever, and it is one of these games, E.T. The game.
I have an Atari.
I own
And
Atari with an ET. Yes.
And I have an ET cartridge.
Yes,
I think at one time I may have
is-
had more than one ET cartridge.
It's
Actually, by the way,
notoriously known as the worst game ever made.
having played that game, yeah.
I mean, Clint, what do you think about ET's neck while playing that game?
Oh my god.
ET grows in size while playing that game, just from his shoulders to the top of his head.
Yes, ET is secretly a giraffe. It's crazy. That game, bad. Although, if you want to bring out Atari games,
I mean,
okay, I'm gonna bring out Superman for the Atari.
Oh. Yeah.
And also Ghostbusters for the Atari.
I've never played either one of those.
To be fair, the only good original Ghostbusters game was for, I think, the Sega Master System. All the rest of them were crap.
Yeah.
And in Superman, I'm pretty sure is like your Clark Kent until you find a phone booth, and then you go into the phone booth. I'm dating myself here, kids, because back in the day, Superman changed his outfit in a phone booth.
Correct.
Because we had them back in the day. And then you flew around until you ran out of energy, and then you turned into Clark Kent again. That was the gist of the game that I got from 8-year-old me trying to play the game.
Which is weird that your superpowers came from a phone booth.
I did enjoy Superman on the arcade. I don't know if you guys ever played that one.
That one was a little different than Atari for sure.
It was a lot different. Yeah.
Also, I'll give you a run for the money for worst game ever made. And like I said, feel free to YouTube this and find out for yourself. Building off Superman for the Nintendo 64. When you just think that system can't suck enough, they brought in a whole new level of suck just for this game.
Zelda 2. What's that supposed to be? Worst game ever? No, I played through it now. I don't think it's the worst game ever. I don't. I think it cheats. It cheats. Like we're all guilty of saying that games are cheating us. That game actually does cheat you. It tries to use the rules of the game against you in ways
Zelda
that are
2,
unfair.
Zelda
it's not
2
the worst game.
Hates you. Hates your family. Hates everything that you've ever done, and wants to see you dead at its feet.
Someone very depressed
Zelda 2
made that game.
Yeah, that's Zelda 2.
Well,
a very angry and maybe aggressive person.
We do have those crazy individuals that do speedrun that game.
Yeah.
And manage to beat it in like an hour.
Yeah. Good luck to that. That's all I can say.
Once I understood the mechanics of how to use the sword and jump and using the magic and stuff like that, there were like elements of that game that made it challenging. But once I got good at them, they were still it was challenging in like a real fun way. But I didn't like when it cheated me, like when it was like shooting me from off the screen.
I'll add two things to this. One, Diz is saying this because Zelda 2 physically abused him.
It did, yes.
And beat him into submission. So now he says this.
Like a redheaded stepchild. Yep.
Exactly. He's got I forget what it's called, some kind of syndrome thing that he's got
PTSD.
And then 2, I forgot what 2 was going to be.
Do you think I'm being paid to say these things?
Maybe.
No comment.
Which is fine as long as you share.
But I will distract you by showing you my new shirt that I've got here.
Okay, for everyone on the audio, that's right, Stockholm Syndrome. Thanks, little man.
There's Momo right there. Oh,
That is
can you see
Momo.
my shirt? Yeah.
That's right.
Hey,
He's got.
now everyone's distracted.
For everyone listening to the audio version, Diz is wearing a shirt that says animals that contains animals from Avatar The Last Airbender.
For all of our Swedish fans listening to this later.
That's right. For
Clan,
everybody
one of
in
your
Sweden.
favorite movies to games though was Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles for NES, right?
No. No.
That's one of the hardest games.
That game can just F right off.
I thoroughly enjoyed that game.
Oh my god.
I don't
The
know
last
how.
level? How do you even beat the last level without cheating?
Have you even seen the last level? I've never gotten to the last level of that game.
I mean,
I did.
all you really
I
got to
Game
do
Genied it.
is make sure that you've got Donatello at like half health, to where
Just
he does
jump and
more
spin
damage.
with his
and then
staff.
I mean,
beat him down.
Donatello is the cheat code for that game.
He is the main turtle you use during that game.
Yeah, don't
You
use
get him to
anybody
half health.
else. Use Donatello, keep him at good health, and you will win the game.
Now, what you do is like when you're underwater and you're on that timer, when you're disabling the bombs, you take the other 3 turtles and you use them to get through there fast enough to disable the bombs.
Murder them.
No, you swap them out before they die, but you use them to get there faster.
Sacrificial turtles.
And
I
then
love it.
If you do lose one, you just rescue him, because technically no turtle dies in that game. They just get kidnapped.
That's true. They get kidnapped. Well, you can't have turtle murder in an NES game.
I mean, we're murdering everything else in the game. I mean, why can't the good guys die?
On Turtle Soup.
Then again, you have the arcade game, and it is amazing.
And it's
one of the best arcade games ever.
Yes. And then you're talking about Turtles in Time.
Well, no, he's talking about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2.
Okay.
Just the arcade game.
The arcade game, yeah.
Which is very much like
Which is the second Turtles game on the NES, which I owned.
Yes.
I had the coupon from it that got my free pizza at Pizza Hut.
Yep.
Dang.
Yep, that's right. Back in the day, I was full of turtle power. Back in the day.
Did you?
Let me tell you.
Did you eat your turtle cereal out of the turtle bowls?
Yes. I was full on turtled up.
Because it was like Lucky Charms, except it was Ninja Turtles.
Except it was Ninja Turtles, yeah. I ate it once, and then I was like, wait a minute, there's marshmallows in this cereal, and I hate marshmallows in cereal.
Unrelated, something that always bothered me. Why did they take Michelangelo's nunchucks away and give him a grappling hook?
Fun fact. In the UK, nunchucks are illegal.
Yep.
So is the word ninja. That's why in Europe they're known as the Teenage Mutant Hero Turtles.
That is true.
Is that why they took his nunchucks away? Because England.
That is why. Yes. Because it was cheaper to change it everywhere than it was to release a special port of the game in just those countries. That's why.
Goodness.
The more you know.
Which is why they never got to play Ninja Gaiden.
That is true too.
Sneaky guy Gaiden.
That's right. Also, little known fact here, chat. I'm going to drop a knowledge bomb to you. Europe did not get a Final Fantasy game until 7.
Wow. Did not know that.
Yep.
Deprived.
Well, I mean, it's kind of their fault for outlawing so much stuff, right?
That's true. And building on that, there's a nice little segue. What about Final Fantasy, The Spirits Within?
I told you, Diz, last night he'd bring it up. His favorite movie of all time.
Okay. So that's reverse. I mean, if you want to get into that, we can go all into that. But that's game to movie inspiration, right? So
that's true. All right. Pin it
there,
for the other one.
I
brought it up,
there are
Chad.
a couple more. There are a couple more real quick. I'm just gonna throw out there real quick. I don't know.
One.
I'm just looking up these, but go ahead.
I got one.
Yep.
Super Mario Brothers, the movie.
Well, that was game to movie though.
Yeah, I've got a couple more
sorry.
movie to games.
Damn it! All right,
Movie
got a
to
couple more
game,
movie to
Clan. Movie to game.
Terminator 2 Judgment Day on Game Boy.
Yeah.
It looks
all
horrible on the screen here.
all of the Terminator 2 video games were ass.
All right, here's a good one. Tron.
For the Atari,
It looks like it is for the. This one says arcade, and the arcade
Yeah.
one looks pretty good. Now,
It was the
third
arcade
one-
that came out with the original Tron. It came out after the original Tron.
all right. Well, I'm talking about the original Tron game for the 2600, where it's like you're a light cycle.
Yeah, that's
It's kind
all
of like
you are.
Snake.
You've got a blue and an orange light
and-
cycle,
Yep.
and that's all you're doing.
And your thing is to try to box the other one in so it can't get out, and you win. So it's Snake.
It's
with
the
two
motorbike
snakes.
thing, right?
Yeah, it's the light cycles. Yeah.
Motorbike. Yeah, I like that.
And then, of course,
Um,
we can add the final part of movies to games, which is pretty much every superhero movie to a game,
Yeah, all of them. Yeah,
like Spider-Man and the Avengers and all that.
X-Men, and yeah, which is another great arcade game.
Yes, X-Men was a good
Yes, X-Men, a very good
Nightcrawler-
arcade game.
Nightcrawler was amazing.
Yes.
Yeah. I always like Colossus.
Yeah.
Always like
all right.
Rogue, but for totally different reasons.
Yeah, well, I
Yeah,
mean,
don't think she's in the game, is she?
Won't you come over here, Shell?
good old Gambit.
Have you seen the TikTok videos where it's like watching the
Watching
90s
X-Men
X-Men
as an adult? Yes.
as an adult?
Yes. There's also one, and everybody, please feel
Oh.
free to check it out. It's like you talk about, how good the theme was for the X-Men cartoon in the 90s, in America.
That was a good song or music intro. Yeah.
The Japanese version is even more slap than that. Yeah.
Well, I mean, they do enjoy a little more risque stuff than we do.
That is true. Here's my thing: will Rogue still be drawn the same way when they do the sequel series on Disney Plus?
She better be, right? I mean, otherwise people are going to be disappointed.
I'm older now, Chef. I know exactly what you do.
Yeah, right.
All right. So we got the Lord of the Rings. They've
Yep.
inspired a bunch of different games. These are more recent games.
More
Actually,
Nintendo.
I feel
and
like
PlayStation
there
2
was
based.
an older
Or, I'm
Lord
sorry,
of the Rings
Xbox.
game too. So it might have been on Xbox or PlayStation or something.
Oh,
I think there may have been one for the Super
There was
Nintendo,
also the
maybe?
Hobbit. It was.
I got y'all a
Game.
blast from the past. Willow.
Oh,
Willow.
yeah, Willow for the NES. Yeah.
Excellent movie.
Yeah.
I've never watched that movie.
Oh, well. He's not the movie buff you promised.
That
is.
that
I'm
is
just saying.
that is a blank spot on my movie going. I never watched Will. I didn't think that I would like it when I was younger, so I never watched it.
Dude, Warwick Davis
Is
is
that-
amazing.
No, we had problems with that one.
All right, here is a good one.
Good
And
job.
this one, I actually follow some like these guys on TikTok that talk about like weird stuff in like games
No.
and movies and how stuff like conspiracy theory type things.
Oh, yeah.
Aladdin the game.
Yeah. For
Well,
Genesis.
there's two different ones. Kind of like the Lion King. There's two different ones. The
Yep.
Genesis
Yeah.
version and the Super Nintendo version are not the same game.
That is true.
But most people, I think, seem to prefer the Genesis version.
I think Genesis version of Lion King and Aladdin were better than the Super Nintendo versions.
Well, I can't remember which one it is, but in one of them, as you're running through, there's like stop signs and there's old garbage and stuff like that on the ground, right? But it's like modern day garbage on the ground inside the game. And the theory is that it didn't happen in the past, that Aladdin is actually happening in like a wasteland in the
Post-apocalyptic.
future.
Well, I mean,
The year is 3500. After the Great War, nothing has survived but Agrabah. And I'm here on the mean streets trying to survive.
I mean,
All right.
if you pay attention to most apocalyptic things, they shift straight to weapons that are bladed.
Yeah.
Because they're a lot easier to hone the blade than it is to try to make gunpowder and press bullets.
All right, so there's only one other one I can think of, and it's one that it made a bunch of games that I really like to play on the PlayStation, and one that I think everybody loved on the GameCube, which was 007. All the James Bond movies.
No, the best 007 game that came out. It was one of the few good games on the Nintendo 64, and that was GoldenEye.
GoldenEye.
Oh, yeah, sorry, it was on 64, not GameCube. I mixed it up there. But
right.
and I played a bunch of the games on PlayStation as well.
Golden Gun at the facility, no odd job.
I mean, you also have Transformers that shifted a lot of games.
All right, here is one game to movie. No, we're doing. No, that's right. We're game to movie. We're not there yet. We're not there yet.
Oh,
sorry.
we
No,
can shift.
we are now. We are now.
You're wholeheartedly wanting to go there.
All right. Okay. So I've got a bunch. I'm sure you guys do. So we can all take turns, go around. First one though is, like I said before, Super Mario Brothers with Bob Hoskins and John Leguizamo.
And I don't know if I feel like that movie is a bad movie or a really, really good movie. I'm not.
I love that. I love that movie.
To me, part of it feels like a parody.
Yeah, it has to be, right?
Yeah, I heart that movie so much. Like, I went to the theater and watched it. I bought it when it came to VHS. That movie is just one of those movies, like, it's bad, but I gotta watch it. I have to. I love it so much.
All right. So what about Angry Birds?
Oh God.
Did you play the game? Did you like the movies?
I didn't play the game.
Yes, and not really.
I did watch the movies. I liked the second one better than I did the first one.
Yeah,
they're both trash.
Mine. I'm going to throw a good one out there since y'all put that crap out. Warcraft.
I did like the Warcraft movie. I thought it was very good. I like the Warcraft movie. Glad to hear that we're getting a sequel.
We're getting a sequel. And the funny part is about all of this is what drove them to do it was everybody reaching out to them going, look what you're doing in your cinematics for your World of Warcraft. Like, y'all could make a movie, no problem.
Listen, I remember watching, me and my wife played Warcraft when it first came out, played it for years, played it up to Cataclysm. And then met Buck, and Buck brought me back in and played it for a good while after that too. But we were watching the movie, and it gets to the part where it's in Goldshire. And I'm there, and I'm like, holy shit, Sally, we've been right there.
Yep.
That's the inn in Goldshire. From the exterior shot, inside of it, I was like, we've been here. We've been to this place. And I just kept saying that the entire time. I was like, I've been here. I've been to these places. And then, they show, Medivh and all of them are there. And I'm like, I know all these people. So it was just amazing.
Let me throw this out there. If they had a theme park populated with all this stuff, how successful would it be? I mean, I know you guys would love it.
Well, now, are we talking being able to go and ride a Zeppelin around the park and being able to do some of the Dark Moon Fair events.
Dark Moon Fair would be good.
Or are
Or
we
at
talking,
Halloween, you could get the Headless Horseman.
or are we talking more of they have a park that just has like waxed figures up? Because the first one, they would get a lot of attention. The second, not so much. It would mainly just be people like me that have played since the beginning of launch, and just that'd be it.
I want it like a Disney World. There's a World of Warcraft land. I go in. I can go to Goldshire. It's talking the end. I can beat up boars.
Dance naked on the table.
You can dance naked on the table. You go to Barons, and there's just constant Chuck Norris chatter and Keanu Reeves chatter while you're walking around in the Barons. You're like, wow, this is like home. Okay, but then I want to leave World of Warcraft land and go to Diabloville, where Deckard Cain is telling me that I need to stay a while and listen.
Everything's on fire.
Yeah, everything's on fire. We went to hell, where we go into Diablo land. We're in Tristram. Deckard Cain is telling us to stay a while and listen. Diablo's trying to come for our soul.
And then the next little section, you get right next to the wall and you hear nuclear launch detected. And you're like, oh, StarCraft, there's a ghost that's launched a warhead.
There you go. That's right.
So Blizzard Town. Yes.
Exactly. Blizzard Land. That's what I want.
Yes.
And somewhere in the middle of it is the Lost Vikings.
The Lost Vikings, and I'll even take some of the Overwatch stuff.
Yeah. I mean, I would love this place.
Yes.
However, not to take everybody off topic,
on a coffee
but,
table, it can't be the United States unless it's in Las Vegas.
You know that when you open up these topics, is that we're going to go straight down the rabbit hole.
Oh yeah,
it's great. I wish this place.
And the next thing you know, we have 45-minute Wowcasts.
So, one I think that we all may like, Sonic the Hedgehog.
The Sonic the Hedgehog movie was a good movie. That was a video game movie done right.
I'm just glad that when they made Sonic the first time and everyone saw that, it said scrap that and do something better or it's going to fail, that they took heed and did it.
They delayed the movie and fixed it. Yeah.
Because that Sonic looked horrific.
Looked bad.
It was like they took a possum that had rabies and been ran over as roadkill, painted it blue, and said, "Here's our Sonic," and everybody's like, "Hell no, we ain't watching that."
In some meeting, they were like, "That's fine. Nobody will notice. It'll be fine. This movie's for the kids." And then they got rated on Twitter because it looked so bad. They're like, "You know what? Just fix the damn hedgehog."
Right.
And it worked. The movie is a good movie. I love that movie. We all love that movie.
I'm looking forward to the next one.
I am. I'm honestly looking forward to the next one. I want to know how Robotnik comes back. Spoilers.
And we'll get to see Knuckles and Tails.
Knuckles and Tails will be there.
The whole company. Yes. Yes, that's what happened.
That is what happened. That's true. That's true.
But another game to movie would be Double Dragon.
Yes, with Alyssa Milano. Yes, I remember that. And the T8 Patrick, I forget his name, but he's the T1000 from Terminator 2.
Yep, he's in there. Yep.
Yeah, he's Kogo Shuko. Yeah.
And then Billy's been in a lot of movies.
Mm-hmm. He was in Party of Five.
Yep.
Yeah, that movie. I mean, that movie is pure mid-90s trash, but it's another one that I love.
I don't think I've seen this
every
movie.
time it's on. I've watched. Oh my god, I've got to try to find it.
I'm gonna watch it. I'm gonna watch it. But does
this
movie
movie is so bad?
Does it start by somebody walking out and punching the girl in the stomach?
No, it doesn't start off. It's actually weird. It's set in the future. It's post-apocalyptic California, where
And-
it's hit an earthquake and it's kind of sunk and the ocean has risen and there's so much pollution that there's buildings that are outfitted with fans to blow the smog away.
And the police only patrol during the daytime because the gangs rule the streets at night.
Yep. That is their deal. It's like the Purge.
And the dragon wagon runs on garbage.
That's true. The Dragon Wagon does. Don't throw. Important note: don't throw the cheese whiz into it because it clogs up the motor.
Don't throw any propellant in there, or you can't drive the dang thing.
That's
So
true.
does that
almost
mean
wreck every time?
does that mean that Doc Brown takes the DeLorean into this future where Double Dragon exists and gets it outfitted
You
to
know,
run on
he
garbage?
might have. He might have.
Actually, I'm going to say a hard no on this because when they throw fuel into the Dragon Wagon, there's fire that comes up out of the thing that they throw the fuel into.
Well, of course,
The
he
Mr.
perfected it.
The Mr. Fusion didn't shoot flames out the back of it. Okay, it was nuclear. So I'm saying, God bless Alyssa Milano. That's all I'm saying.
Clan happened to enjoy the tights
Yes,
and stockings of that movie.
yes. Never got the sequel we deserved.
All
No.
right, so Mortal Kombat. There's been
Oh, that's a good movie.
3 movies, right?
Yeah, the odd
And then
numbers are
some-
good.
Maybe even some
Yes.
cartoons. Or
I
something
was gonna say the first and third,
Yeah,
and the
first.
cartoons are good.
Yeah,
They screwed the
Yep.
second one up though.
yeah. Mortal Kombat Annihilation. Don't watch it. You'll make yourself sad.
That's the one with the robots in it, right? Because I've seen
Yeah.
part of it.
Yeah. That's got smoke. And
That's the one where they combine 2 and 3
Cyrax
the
and
games together
it's
and different
got,
Raiden.
A different Sub-Zero
Raiden.
because that's his brother.
Yep. And then
And
Johnny
Night
Cage
Wolf-
dies
Night
with
Wolf's is in there.
first 30 seconds of the movie.
I mean, you don't even really get to see Johnny Cage do anything but die in that movie.
He literally just stands there and is like, "Whoa."
That's
So,
Cube
yeah.
Nasty.
The
Was
first
Ice
movie
Cube and
good.
Nasty in that movie? Johnny Cash. Johnny
Johnny Cash not in that movie.
Johnny Five. Johnny Five in the movie.
Makes a cameo.
No, Johnny Cage is in that movie, but not Cash. I don't think there's a ring of fire around that dude. Johnny Bravo.
Johnny Bravo. Yep.
Johnny Bravo.
Hey, mama.
Oh. All right. What about Tomb Raider? You like old Tomb Raider movies, new Tomb Raider movies, a little bit
I
of
think
both?
each one brings something different.
I
That's true.
agree.
And
I
I'm not
agree.
talking about the actresses portraying the Tomb Raider, but each
Oh,
one
okay.
brings something different. And then eye candy is completely different between the two.
That's true. That's true. Yeah. The reboot Tomb Raider movies are like the reboot Tomb Raider games. They focus more on the adventure side of the house. You know,
Instead of
the Angelina Jolie movies were. I mean, I watched the very first one with Angelina Jolie is actually an okay movie. The second one I could probably do without. But I mean, the big thing with that was seeing Angelina Jolie in outfits.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just exactly. That's just the honest thing about it. At that time, that's what drew him in. And they cashed in on it.
What about the
And now
games?
we-
Did you guys play the games?
I played the first one.
I played the 64 version of Tomb Raider.
Yeah, I played the
That's
PlayStation
about it.
version of Tomb Raider, the very first one, and then I played the reboot Tomb Raider game.
I never owned them. I played them some, and I didn't get really into them.
Yeah, I rented the PlayStation one. Back when you could rent games. Remember that, Chat? Renting games is beautiful.
Heck yeah. That's what Blockbuster used to do till I knocked them out.
Trigger.
I got another good one. Rampage.
with The Rock.
Now,
With The
I
Rock.
actually,
Did
I
you like
actually
it or not?
liked Rampage
Mm-hmm.
because that ape was badass.
That's true. Yeah, I didn't hate that movie. I actually enjoyed that movie.
When they first mentioned it, I was like, I don't know how well I'm gonna like this on how they do these animals and what's gonna happen. But
It's
I was
just
like, all
weird.
right.
You know, the game that game going to a movie because the game is
I
just
know.
you climbing up the side of buildings and beating them.
Beating the building to death. Yeah. They pulled it off though. They did it. All right, now back to the other one. Final Fantasy Spirits Within.
Best movie ever.
No one's ever going to say that.
No.
Can we skip that one and pull the other two?
I know of Advent Children.
Final Fantasy 15's Kingsglaive.
Oh, Kingsglaive.
Is the other one.
Each one got better. Like
Now,
Advent Children, I think is better than Spirits Within.
Yeah.
Kingsglaive is better than Advent Children.
Hell, to me, Kingsglaive's better than Final Fantasy 15.
Didn't Final Fantasy Spirits Within didn't have Steve Buscemi? Yeah, it did. Alec Baldwin.
Yep.
Damn.
It had big name actors in it. And it was Sakaguchi's pet project. They built a studio in Honolulu just to make this movie. And they were able to do that because they used to have an office in Redmond next to Nintendo. They moved that office to LA. Then they had the Honolulu office and they had the Japan office. So they built the Honolulu office just for making this movie, using the money they made off 7 and I guess maybe 8 at the time. I can't exactly remember the year that Spirits Within comes out, but it was made off that money. Especially 7.
It was definitely made when they brought out the PlayStation games. When they shifted to do that.
And it was going to be the start of a thing where Square would make its own movies. That's what they had all this animation technology they developed for the games and stuff, and they were going to make movies. That was the whole job of Honolulu, was to make movies.
So we almost got a bunch of good Final Fantasy movies.
Just about. But this thing tanked so hard that they had to shutter the Honolulu studio, and it put Square in such a bind that Enix was able to come in and pretty much buy them out, and now we have Square Enix.
But maybe Enix
and Sakaguchi had to leave.
Maybe Enix threw somebody in that production team that sabotaged it so they could take them over.
Maybe. Could be. I think it was Enix and Nomura, because then he took over Final Fantasy, and we got some really bad Final Fantasy games out of that.
All right, Chad's throwing out there Street Fighter.
That's another guilty pleasure movie where it's
now there's
bad,
2 of them. There's 2 of them out there, right?
The Jean-Claude Van Damme movie is the only one that matters.
Yeah, Guile, the American Guile.
Yeah, that speaks with a French accent.
The French American Guile.
Yeah. I am the head of a multinational task force here to stop Shadowloo. Aren't you American? Why, yes, I am. Do I not sound the American?
And I guess he couldn't get the hair, so they just put gray on his head.
They just shaved him bald.
That's true.
So,
hey, listen. Say what you want to about that movie, but Raul Julia.
Yeah, he's the one who makes it, right?
And the whole thing is, do you know why he did that movie?
Only because you've told me, I think so.
Yeah, he did this movie because his kids loved Street Fighter, and he wanted to be. He was dying of cancer at the time, and he knew it. And he wanted to make a movie that he knew his kids would watch. And that's the whole reason he did. I mean, while he was making that movie, he was dying of cancer. and he kept it a secret. And it wasn't just a little bit after the movie, I believe, that he passed away. I mean, that's the whole thing. So, I mean, no matter what, just that story makes the movie that you should watch it. Now, it's a shit movie. There's no going around it. It's a shit movie. The best actor in it is Raul Julia. I mean, he makes, for a dude that doesn't look anything like Bison, he makes a good Bison. So, but yeah, it's a guilty pleasure.
He could be any character.
That's true. He could be. That dude could just act. It's weird though. He goes from being Gomez Adams to M. Bison.
He is Gomez Adams. There will be no other.
No,
even from the TV show. Screw that. He is Gomez Adams.
He is the best Gomez Adams ever.
So we do have another movie, Street Fighter: The Legend of Chun-Li.
Of Chun-Li. Yep, watch that. Had Kristen Kreuk in it, who was Lana from Smallville. She plays Chun-Li.
And
it's okay.
I mean, yeah. You could watch it one time, maybe.
Watch it one time and you're good. You're good. Yeah. It's kind of like some other stuff. It's because there are some animated Street Fighter movies.
Yeah.
That are apparently very good.
Yes.
But the live action
actually
ones
has his hair.
Yeah. But the live action ones are not very good. And I don't know. I guess they were trying to do like a focus on an individual character and make individual movies to try, because the whole Chun-Li movie is basically her training to join the Street Fighter tournament.
Right, it is.
So it's like a prequel to Street Fighter, but they never made the Street Fighter that's supposed to come after it.
Well, I mean, I think it was more along the lines of, we're going to try to do everybody's a backstory movie and then put them all together. And then they just figured that it was going to take too long, too much.
We never got our Ryu and Ken movie.
Right. Where Ryu just looks at Ken like, quit copying me. I hate you.
Listen, they're exact copies of each other, except one does punches and one does kicks.
Yeah, well, one's Japanese and one's American.
Yeah.
They like to punch face. We like to kick butt.
Yeah. There you go.
All right, I didn't know this was a movie, but now I think I'm going to have to go watch it, even though it doesn't have high ratings. Dead or Alive.
Yep.
DOA.
Yep, I watched that movie as well.
And if you watched that movie, was this on like Showtime late at night?
Actually,
possibly.
It falls under the B-rated version of movies.
I think I may have legitimately rented that one.
It came. I want to say it came on. What was it? USA on one of their off hours, like off.
Yeah, this is definitely a late night USA movie.
But it wasn't really on. It wasn't really on a.
Listen,
Skinamax or HBO or something like that.
If this movie came on USA Up All Night with Gilbert Gottfried, the movie would be 100 times better than what it is.
Yeah.
So it would be worth it just for the Gilbert Gottfried parts.
So where would you put Resident Evil?
That's what I was going to bring up. Okay, here's my thing. The first 5 movies with Mia Jovovich, each one gets a little bit dumber than the next one.
Yes.
But the first one is pretty good.
Yep, I agree.
And it kind of serves as a prequel to the games, and then it kind of just the other 4 movies just lose their damn mind.
Like, why does she continue to do them?
Well, because her husband makes the movies.
Yeah.
Oh, well, there you go.
And that's why she stopped
Yeah.
the final chapter, because she was pregnant at the time, and she's like, look, when we're done, I'm done. Like, I'm gonna take care of the kids, and I'm gonna but then on the topic with her, she goes to Monster Hunter.
Yep. Does another Capcom series, Monster Hunter, which is an okay movie too if you played Monster Hunter. But
well, I mean, even if you haven't played Monster Hunter, it's still a okay movie.
Yeah.
in its own right, whether it fully copied or kept with the game or not.
But the first 5 movies I can watch. Now, I've just recently, I really need to do a 4 a.m. movie review for the newest Resident Evil movie. But that movie, like, okay, here's my problem with this. Like, it takes stuff from the games. So you're dealing with characters from the games and what happens in the games, but it changes them. It combines everything together into just a hodgepodge.
Yep.
And then the movie is horrible.
Yeah.
And you're
Like, it's
losing
just a-
sight of what
it's
each
just a-
character was involved in.
Yeah, like these characters are not supposed to be with these characters at all, but then they're all together and it's all happening at the same time. And the movie is just bad.
Now, the animated versions of Resident Evil are a little different.
Those are good.
Yeah, they're a little different. They actually tried to follow bits and pieces of the game that they're associated with.
Especially the ones with Matthew Mercer in it as Leon. Those are actually good. But because he was Leon in the games.
Yep.
Up until the remakes. But yeah, the newest one, God, don't watch it. Just run away from it.
I
as
got
fast
y'all
as
an
you can.
old one. Little Nemo Dream Master.
That is an old one.
Have either one of you seen the movie?
I don't think so.
I have, but years and years and years ago. I haven't watched that movie in at least 30 years.
Did you know they're talking about bringing out a second Little Nemo game?
So I wouldn't doubt it.
But this game, after I saw it, I was like, I don't want to play this game. Little Nemo is one of my favorite games of all time from Nintendo.
I didn't realize it was a movie.
Yep. They actually let him go to Dreamland, and he meets the king and gets pretty much the key that unlocks everything in the kingdom.
Yeah. It's a very rare game.
I have the game and the book, as I've shown you, but I'm not looking forward to the second one. They've added characters you can play as, like the princess's helper, Nemo, and I forgot his name now. The green face salesman guy that tries to lure Nemo into doing all the bad crap.
Yeah, I can't
Got
think
me.
of who that is.
He's playable in the game. And they all have certain powers that you need to try to beat the game with. And I'm like, I just don't think I'm going to enjoy that.
Yeah.
Because that's not what Nemo was about. It was about one kid, when he fell asleep, he went to this dream realm and he tried to save them. That was the whole point of his job, was to beat the nightmare. But Did's got a long list of stuff he's having to write down over there, Clan, of things he's never seen before.
Yeah.
That's true. That's true.
Here's one I have seen, and I probably wish I hadn't seen it. Assassin's Creed.
Oh, that movie was god awful.
I mean,
We actually watched that movie together.
Yeah.
I mean, the only part of that movie that stayed with the game was the fact that he went back in time.
That's
Yeah.
it.
Like everything
Yeah,
else
that-
was like, this doesn't follow a damn thing at what I've been playing.
Yeah, that is one of my biggest problems with games into movies, is because I want to see a movie of the game, but inevitably they go in and they make changes to it because they want to make their own story of the game, and that's not what I want. I want to watch a movie version of the game I played.
Right. And
It's all I want.
that's part of why I brought up Warcraft, because that's pretty close. Like you said yourself, like they got to Goldshire and you're like, I'm here. I've been here. But most games, you play it and then they make a movie and you're kind of like, well, that was sort of in the game. I sort of saw that part, but and then you go on. And they need to do better in that regard if they're copying one to the other.
It's true. So here's a topic is there a game that you think should be made into a movie that isn't, or a movie that you think should be made into a game?
Yes. Zelda needs to be made into a movie.
That's a good one. Here's the thing with that one though. Do you want a live action Zelda or do you want an animated Zelda?
With the way CGI and everything has come out, they could direct a live action Zelda that could be running par on course with Warcraft. So I think that they could get away with making a live action and it'd be fine. Now they have made the cartoon Zelda,
Excuse me, princess.
right? And I mean, they've had quite a few, cut scenes and cinematics and stuff in games over time, but I think they could get away with a live action of that.
What about the Beavis and Butthead dubbed version of the animated cartoon? Have you seen that? And if not, you should look it up on. I think it's on TikTok. So
I have not seen that.
it's great.
Oh yes, I have seen what you're talking about, and it is great how it goes with it. It is amazing. You should watch it. Yes.
I have a show that I wish they would make into a game.
Okay.
We were touching on it earlier. Justified.
So you're playing Raylan Givens as he makes his happy ass back to Harlan County, Kentucky, where he has to, each stage is a different boss that's in control of Harlan.
Yep.
Sign me up. I would gladly pay $70 to play that game.
Justify the game.
Now, do you have a button that you have to press before you kill the boss? That way you say justified before you kill it. That way you don't go to prison.
You go to prison if you don't say.
If you don't say justified, you go to prison.
What it'll be, Clan, is like in God of War, when you've got to do the button combos for the execution. If you don't get that button combo right, he doesn't say it, you go to jail.
There you go. I like it.
That's how they can play that off.
To jail.
All right. I've got games that could be made into movies, and I wanted to get your opinion on them. Because we talked about it before, there was movies made, but not actually of the game themselves.
Right.
So what would you say to like a movie, but the movie is based on either Final Fantasy 4, 6, or 7?
I mean, I think 6 would probably make a decent movie. I don't know if 4 would. 4's a little out there on some of the scenes that I'm thinking of where they would like,
I mean, come on, Diz. You can't discredit Sid jumping out of an airship into an underground cave with a chunk of dynamite on him to stop a whole legion of airships chasing him.
I'm just thinking in 4, you go out on your ship and Leviathan attacks you and you just show up on the shore. I mean,
You have a quick
work out anyway.
fade.
You have to, right?
Yep.
I don't.
Have
4
to.
could be a good movie too. Yep. But 3 could not.
What about 9, Clan?
Yeah, 9 can make. I mean, really, any of them can make I think a pretty good movie standing on their own.
I think.
I mean,
9 would have to be animated.
I think that Clan just lied to you, chat.
It's too cartoony.
Yeah.
Right?
If you made a movie of Final Fantasy 13, Clan would throw it out and shoot it.
Yeah, well, we don't talk about that.
I mean, I think
you said any Final Fantasy game.
I think
Any of the
13 could
good
be
ones.
made into a good movie. I mean,
You would have to uncomplicate 13
you would.
because 13 is complicated.
Ooh, I got a good one. Metal Gear Solid,
Metal Gear Solid should be
like
a
a
movie.
live
I mean,
action movie.
I mean, I
Yes.
feel like they've almost done that anyways with the Escape movies.
Yeah, I mean,
they could do better and they could do a more, nowadays movie, but they kind of did that.
No, I want to see those characters in a live action movie. Either that, yeah, a live action movie, which would suck because I really like David Hayter as the voice of Snake. But yeah, that should be a movie. And it should be made like an 80s action movie.
yeah, exactly. Just in that style. Yeah, I
Like
think it would
Escape
be
yeah,
from
great.
LA.
Just straight up 80s style action movie.
You think any producers are watching this right now? Just great idea.
Maybe we're giving them gold here. I don't know.
What do you think about making Mega Man into a movie?
I think you could. I think it's very possible to make Mega Man into a movie. But I'm back again to the thing. Do I want a live action Mega Man movie or do I want an animated?
I want it
Mega Man
animated
movie?
if it's Mega Man.
And
Animated would work. I don't know if live action would.
I
Because
think animated would be a better way to make that movie.
Well, I mean,
Streamers.
if he's shifting, from one ability to another, there's no way live action is gonna look as good as just
I mean, you could
animating him.
You could
shifting.
CG the hell out of it,
Yep.
but I would rather it be animated.
Yep.
I think you get a good animation studio, a good Japanese animation studio, and you animate that movie, and you're good. Or you can do 3D animation too.
Yeah, kind of like Beowulf with
Yeah.
Angelina Jolie.
Okay, I've got a movie series that I think would make a good game. Let's see what you think. Firefly / Serenity.
I'll give you $200 right now for that game, on the caveat that the cast comes back to voice their characters. Yes.
Yeah. Right.
Yes.
Why don't we just get an animated series of Firefly?
That I don't. As long as the cast is there. Here's the thing. I want Firefly, but I want the same cast. I don't want a replacement cast or new characters. I want those characters in that ship. More adventures, please.
Wash or no wash?
Wash.
Definitely. I don't care if they justify it as he comes back as a freaking robot or a clone or whatever.
All right, Clan. What do you think it would be if they wanted to make a supernatural game?
I think that would be good. I think you could do a either you would do an adventure style game or you would do a survival horror game.
I think it would go better to be kind of like 7 Days. Where
I don't know about that.
Well, what I mean is you go to a trader, right? And he gives you a job. You go to like the Roadhouse, they give you a job. You have to go track down your job. The vampire, the werewolf, the whatever. Yeah. I'm not talking about the survival of you got to build your own house and every 7 days crap happens. I'm talking about like the way the quests are given out. You get a job, you go track him down.
Yeah, I would like that. Like I said, like an adventure game or something. You go there, they tell you like where you're going, but you have to go and like talk to the people and get clues to figure out what actually is going on, what monster it is you got to kill, how you got to research to figure out how to kill the monster, like they do on the show. Yeah. But I would like that too because I like those characters. It's a good world. There's a lot of story there to tell. They got
15 seasons. They can make a heck of a game out of 15 seasons. Yeah. They only have 12 seasons.
I'm surprised that there's not already a game, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
All right. What about Mr. Robot, the video game?
Hate that show.
I don't really see where that would.
Yeah, it wouldn't work. I'm just throwing that out there to piss Clan off for a second.
Don't
Yeah,
really see
that was a slide against me. Definitely slide against me.
Let's see.
Oh, I don't know if there is. Maybe there is. What about Blade?
There's a game.
Is there a game?
Yep.
'Cause I've never played it.
Never played it either.
That
Okay,
would
what
be a good
about
game.
a game that I know we all three like? Could you actually see it as a movie? And that would be, I'm throwing out the big one here, Chrono Trigger.
See, I was thinking that, but I don't know.
It'd have to be animated.
Yeah.
I don't really want to see a live action Lavos.
And like I said, it many times before, it is not my number one game, but I do believe it is the number one of all time.
That's true. Unless you believe the reviews of Elden Ring.
Elden Ring. Yeah.
Elden Ring.
It may be a good game. But
The only game to ever get a 5 out of 5 from X-Play.
I mean, by that status, then Valheim should be better than what it is.
I do have a good one though. I think it would make a wonderful game. John Wick.
I mean, that's what they kind of tried to do in
Yeah.
Cyberpunk, right? And completely decimated it.
Cyberpunk was more Johnny Mnemonic type of video game.
Well, the Cyberpunk, they were trying to take an existing property and update it and throw it out there. It just didn't work very well. Well,
You'd have to have like a lot of bullet time with John Wick, like the game. Like,
yeah.
So you want to add the bullet time, huh?
you'd have to, because I mean, he just blasts people. I mean, as a
mean,
player, you're not going to be able to move that fast.
They
Right.
have to have, if they do that, they have to have the iconic line in there, though. Son, it's not what you did, it's who you did it to.
That's
As
true.
that kid's looking to him like, he's no big deal. Oh, he's a very big deal. Let's see.
Then silence.
Well, I'm looking.
We
to
ran
see
out of things.
from
Have we
my
exhausted our
list.
knowledge of video games and movies?
So, okay, here's your one. I was holding off on this because I wasn't sure if I really wanted to bring it up. Thundercats. I know we were talking games to movies, movies to games, but should they make that a movie?
Is it a video game? Did they make a Thundercats video game?
I'm pretty sure there's a Thundercats video game.
I'm going to have to look this up.
Maybe.
I don't ever remember one.
But they tried mentioning it. And
Thundercats on Nintendo DS.
See, I knew there was one. I just didn't know what platform.
Probably out of the remake Thundercats, probably.
But I just don't know if I could stomach that as a live action movie.
A live action movie?
Yeah, they were talking about making live action and having Vin Diesel play Panthro.
Just think about what they did to He-Man, the first trial.
Yes. Which
That's
they're
probably what you would
redoing.
get.
They're
They are.
redoing. But
The cartoons on Netflix are pretty good too.
Yeah.
You would have to get somebody to make the movie that respects the property and it's not trying to treat it as a big joke.
Right.
If they were serious with it and followed the story of the original series and respected it, then yeah, it could probably be an okay movie. I mean, I would watch it. I enjoyed the Thundercats back in the day.
Right. I loved the show.
Yes,
But
I mean, I would
just-
definitely watch it.
I just feel like they would butcher a live action.
Yeah.
All right. We watched this one. What about Narcos? Would that make a
Knock
good
yourself.
game?
I don't know how you would make that game. To be honest with you, I mean that was a good show,
But I mean, isn't
but it would be
Far Cry close
difficult.
to that?
Yeah, Far Cry would be the closest thing I could think of to that. Yes.
I was
I
thinking
mean,
like
you
a
would have to
GTA
play.
type of game.
Yeah, I mean, you could do it that way. Yeah, I mean, you're basically you would go in playing an undercover cop. You know, like in the show. Um, but I mean that, jeez, oh beat, man. I don't like it. You could probably make a pretty good game out of it. Mike, I just don't know if you could play it because it would be very story heavy, and you would skip
play
all
like
the
for
cutscenes.
play for like 2 minutes and there'd be like a 15 minutes.
Yeah,
cutscene.
you would skip all the cutscenes, get to the end, and they'd be like, "I'm here. You took everything from me. I'm going to kill you." And you're like, "I don't even know who you are." Oh.
I would like to see them come up with a better sub game, and I may be partial to that, but more like what Hunter Killer movie is,
I like that movie.
into a better submarine game, because they've had submarine games, you know, since Nintendo. But
Yep, it was the Hunt for Red October.
yeah, you had Hunt for Red October. You had, you even had the arcade game.
Yep.
Where you literally looked into a periscope and all your buttons were on the handles.
I remember that.
Which is
Played
not
that at Mystery
how a
Gaddy's.
submarine works, chat. That is not how submarine works.
Don't believe it.
All right, so
But
we've been thinking about what we would like, but what about what other people might like? You think there should be like a 50 Shades of Grey video game?
I mean,
Or like a
You
Twilight
should.
video game?
There should definitely be a Twilight video game.
Is there a market for
Not anymore, but back in the day there was. Yeah.
but as far as like Twilight goes, I mean, in that regard, you're looking at like the originals and Vampire Diaries, and you've got all these different things that stemmed off of pretty much that movie or set of movies and books.
Mhm.
And I mean, what type of game would you make out of it?
So there
A
is a very
Telltale game? Because that'd be
well, not a
close. That's the
Telltale
only thing I can
games.
think of.
Trying to think of the name of the game. Um, I can't remember. It's there's one game in particular that I'm thinking of where seems like it's heavily story driven, and I think one of the main characters is able to see like people's emotions, so like she can tell if like they're lying to her or if they're angry or stuff like that. Like she can see like almost like their aura. Can't remember what the game is called. But I figured it could be a game like that, more drama driven instead of action
Talking about
driven.
Just Cause?
It's not Just Cause. It was I'll find it here in just a second.
I can think of a game that Diz would want into a movie, Glenn, that he didn't even mention.
What was that?
Fable.
I'd probably watch it. I mean, I don't know how good it would be.
Yeah.
Chicken chaser.
I mean, that would be good, but are you going to, with the Fable movie, though, what do you do? Or is it good or evil? I mean, what do you do? Because that was the big thing with the game, right? That was the big mechanic.
I think that's the premise of the movie, right? The kid has to decide in the movie what he's going to do, and then by the end, if you wanted to make it a sequel, you see him look in the mirror, for example, and you see the reflection and like a horn, and you're like, oh, well, did he go evil? And you're like, well, now you got to wait for the next movie.
I got two things. One, make that movie, but you make two different versions of that movie and you randomly play them so that some people will see the bad and some people will see the good. And then
It's
when
a
it comes
choose your
out,
adventure movie.
when it comes out on Blu-ray, you have both versions and you pick which one you want to watch.
Right.
Yep. Here's another one though.
Oh, let me. So that game is called Life is Strange.
Oh, yep.
Okay, yep. Life is Strange.
And
Yeah.
it seems to be focused more towards the drama aspect of games and storytelling.
That's the
than just
brunette girl, right?
action.
With like the shoulder hair.
Mhm.
Shoulder
Yeah.
length. Yeah.
And
Yeah,
then
there's three of those games.
there's even games that we like that do that, except it throws in some action for us as well. Mass Effect is
That's what I
really
was getting
Java
ready to
heavy.
say.
It's Java. Well, I mean, it's
Was
related to that, but I know what you're going to say, that it should be a movie, and it definitely should.
it should be a movie. Yeah.
They could
At
do
the
that
very
live
least,
action.
at the very least, the first game should be a movie. 100%.
Totally. Not Andromeda or whatever it is.
The first Mass Effect game should 100% be a movie.
All right. Well, it's getting pretty late here, so final thoughts.
Make
No
the Mass
thoughts.
Effect movie.
Okay. For my
Thought.
final one, Contra. Should they make that
Contra.
a movie?
It would have to be really kind of nothing like the actual side-scrolling game, but yes,
Well, no, I'm talking about
they could
Contra
be fighting
has
like
Contra has a
aliens and
lore
stuff.
to it though.
Oh yeah, then yeah.
Oh yeah,
It would
I
just be
forgot.
like a
Diz
Rambo
doesn't
movie.
pay attention to any lore-based stuff in games.
I
He
mean,
just
what
does actions.
did you have to read the manual to get the lore? I mean, where were you getting the
No.
lore in 1980 something?
in the game? So the guys are trying to stop this faction that is, for lack of better words, corrupted or controlled by the aliens that you fight at the end. They're like possessed by them, or in some cases, it's like the Hellboy, where that group is trying to summon aliens and stuff like that. So there's a lore base with Contra that actually has a story. But
yeah, that'd be great as a movie. It'd be a new Rambo series, is what it would be.
Or Commando series,
which would be great, you know.
either one.
Because I don't feel like we have any movies like that right now. So.
No, the
That
last
are
Rambo
popular.
was it.
Yeah.
Which that wasn't bad. I mean, you don't mess with his niece.
No.
True.
All right, Clan, final thoughts? Anything else? Any other games to movies, movies to games?
Make the Mass Effect movie, you cowards.
You need to, right? I mean,
Yep.
and please don't make the Chrono Trigger one, because you're definitely gonna screw that one up. And
Yeah,
don't
that's
ruin
true.
something that's great.
Yeah, don't. I'm more than willing to play Shepard.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah,
saying,
yeah.
I will play Shepard if you need somebody to play Shepard.
And please, for the love of God, if you're ever going to make another Dragon Ball Z live or Dragon Ball live action, learn from your mistakes.
Yes, I agree with that
Evolution
statement.
Was horrible.
I liked Bulma though.
All right, well, it's getting kind of late, so Clan, you want to run these youngins out of here?
Hey, you kids, get off our lawn!
See you guys next Thursday.